Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
This is the Geek Podcast with Jishnu and Tejas.
Hi and welcome to the Geek Fruit Podcast.
Nerds.
That's a nice new theme song.
I just saw a video this morning of like some guy playing that song.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun. What is that song again? Dun, 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 dun,
Talk
dun.
about it, talk
Talk
about it,
talk about it, talk about it. Na, 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 na.
I don't know what the song is. That's all I
yeah.
know.
Well, I'm sure we'll get it.
Geek Fruit!
Yeah. So this is the
Sing.
Geek Fruit Podcast. Welcome to a new episode.
You're listening. Do it.
Yeah, I'm Tejas and you're Jishnu.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
That's what you say.
Yep.
Every time.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Yeah,
You don't need to keep telling me.
Sometimes... No, okay.
There's nobody else here. You're just you're
That's
talking to
true.
me.
Yeah, I am talking to you.
I know who I am.
I just want to, like, anybody, in the off chance that someone actually listens to this show, I'd like to introduce ourselves. So I'm Tejas, this is Jishnu once again, and this week we're going to be talking about some stuff. Again, television. We're doing another episode on television because we missed a good show in our last week's episode. We were talking about, superheroes on television, but we kind of didn't go across this one show, which is actually one of the better shows still on mainstream kind of television and not like, say, your Netflix. And it has a very kind of unique position in the world of like this franchise because it's a character that originated in a comic book, was adapted to a movie, and now is on television, and then also is featured on other spin-off shows from the same thing. So the show we're talking about today is going to be Agent Carter. But before that, what did you do this week, man? Tell me, update. I've not seen you in a while.
What?
Yeah, we'll get to Agent Carter.
I see you way too often.
We'll talk about Agent Carter. We have enough time to talk about it. But
You watch my Snapchats. You know what I'm up to.
No, I don't watch your Snapchat. That's the one
I
thing.
haven't updated my Snapchat in a while.
Oh, you could have
I've
gone
really
away
have,
with it also if it weren't for those meddling phones. Yeah, man. Hey, so I saw a movie which I really want to talk about. And I know we did an episode which was, counting down the top 20 movie franchises that's coming out this year. Mm-hmm. By the way, we missed one in that.
We missed the Ninja Turtles too.
Yeah, Out of the Shadows. Mm-hmm. And I recently watched, not out of choice, but I rewatched the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I still like it, man. It was still like a very randomly good watch.
I want to say I liked it and the second one, but...
The second one's coming out now.
Oh, you're talking about the new Ninja Turtle, as in with Megan Fox.
Yeah, the Michael Bay
Right,
produced
okay.
one.
I'm talking about like the old ones,
the
like
old
the
ones?
80s.
I love those.
But the thing is, I don't remember what I thought about them. You know what I mean? Because like I saw them when I was like 7 or 8 years old, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
of course I loved it because of course you would because it's the Turtles.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I really don't remember anything. I really don't remember anything.
Don't know if it holds up, you mean?
I have no clue. I couldn't tell you what the story is, although I can probably guess.
It's probably Shredder.
Yeah, bro, really. I don't have an opinion on it.
Oh, okay.
I need to see it again. That's been way too long.
It plays, often on like Star movies and stuff. Like it keeps coming back every now and then. Like they keep bringing it back.
I also will admit that I have not turned on an actual television set in at least a decade.
So this is funny. The reason why I watched Teenage Mutant is because I went to my mother's house and she was watching television, and then I was just
I'll tell you, I was staying at a guest house like a few months ago, and I was there for like three and a half weeks, right, by myself in this guest house, and I had a TV that had cable and stuff, and this was in the States.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, cool, I can like actually watch all this stuff live.
Like legit on television,
exactly,
without
right?
censorship,
right.
etc.
And
Yeah.
so I got really excited when I saw that, oh my god, I have a TV in my own place, it's going to be amazing. I turned it on the first day that I was there.
Yeah.
And then the fact that I had to like hold a remote and like flip through channels, I was like, I can't do this anymore.
I'm so tired.
I was like, no, I want to see like 10 different videos at the same time. I want to see like thumbnails. I want to see like, I just couldn't do it. So I didn't turn it on again like after the first day. Even though I had a TV, I just couldn't go back to it.
Wow, that's actually very interesting that you say that. About the thumbnails thing, I think smart TV is kind of going in that direction, right? Like, because I think people still need to, people still want stuff to be programmed for them to be able to choose from, rather than they go out on the internet and just like, oh my god, that's the problem with watching Netflix.
Maybe if I had a DVR, then things would be different. Which I think most people do now these days.
Fair enough. Okay. So anyway, the movie I was going to tell you about, which another movie apart from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that we missed, is Asterix Mansion of the Gods.
Where did you see that?
So again, my mother is featuring the second time in this episode. She said, hey Tejas, let's go for Asterix. And I was like, what are you talking about, Mom? You don't know anything. I counted down the top 20 movies. This is definitely not one of them. It's definitely not coming out this
And
year.
she went, son, what is that weird accent you have? And why are you talking like this to me now? Oh my God, I don't know what's happened to you.
Yeah, you don't know me anymore. But yeah, she said, no, there's an Asterix movie. And she's like, I saw it in the paper. And I was like, no, it's impossible. And then I came back to Bombay and I checked the listings for movies because I just wanted to watch something. And it was there, Asterix. Mansion of the Gods, and I went and I saw it.
Is this the one with the Gerard Depardieu?
No, it's not a live action thing. So it's the first 3D animated Asterix, and it was pretty good. The problem was that it was originally made in French, which was quite obvious because the dub was off. But still, pretty good, man. It was quite funny, and it was really nice to watch Asterix again. Were you ever into Asterix?
I read them. I read a lot of them. I read all the Tintins. I read all the Asterix. I think I want to say again that I think I saw the Gerard Depardieu movie.
Yeah.
But again, when I was 7 or 8, and I haven't seen it since. And that was also a random happenstance viewing on TV as well. So
it was alright.
I have no idea if I liked it or not.
Anyway, so that was cool. I guess the other thing I just want to talk about before we head into a break and then speak about Agent Carter is that Comic-Con is coming up, man. Should we go?
Pune, right?
Yeah.
When is
21st and 20th and 21st.
Definitely. I'm really bummed I missed the last one.
Yeah. It was quite a spread. I mean, we haven't actually spoken about Comic-Con
I'm actually wearing the socks you got from Comic-Con.
Yes, Loki socks.
Loki socks.
Nice, cool. And maybe the character, not the vegetable.
Maybe. What?
Loki.
What?
The vegetable?
What vegetable?
One second, I'm not entirely sure what Loki is in.
Is Loki a vegetable?
Of course it is. In Hindi, that's Indian word.
What the hell is?
I
think
it's like egg. No, it's not eggplant. What is it? I'm not even.
Let's confer with the wizards behind the glass.
Yeah, behind the glass. What is Loki? Is it Thor's greatest enemy, as in while he was growing up?
Oh, producer overlords.
I don't think they know.
They're not even listening to us. They really. We could talk about anything right now, dude.
Let's talk about the producers.
Good play. Have you seen it?
Yeah, of course. Not on Broadway.
I've seen it on Broadway. I've seen it off Broadway.
Yeah.
And it was amazing off Broadway.
Yeah. Matthew Broderick, Nathan Lane.
Yeah.
Classic
great
duo.
movie.
Yeah.
And Uma Thurman.
And
Will Ferrell as a Sherman-loving
amazing,
guy.
Really, really good.
Sorry. But speaking of totally random.
Yeah.
I want to ask you. I've probably asked you this before, but there's this one movie. Since we were talking about movies that I know I've seen but I've forgotten. Mm-hmm. There's this one movie that haunts me because I remember one scene very vividly, right? But I have no idea what movie this is.
Okay.
And I really don't know what this movie was about. I don't know if I loved it. I don't know if I hated it. But this has plagued me for my entire life. It was a movie I saw.
Do you remember which one it is?
No, I'm going to describe the scene to you and tell me if you know what I'm talking about. It's a fantasy movie, right? Not science fiction, but old school medieval-ish kind of fantasy.
Okay.
I think a little boy in present day times, this would have been 1990s. Mm-hmm. A little boy, maybe 7 or 8 years old, somehow, sort of like the Indian in the cupboard kind of thing, he finds this magical, or Narnia finds a way to go to this other dimension, this other world, ends up in the middle of this desert. Okay? And nothing but desert.
Okay.
And then
nothing but desert. Okay, cool.
And then he sees in the distance these two people and he walks towards them because he doesn't know what's going on. Turns out one guy is sort of like Russell Crowe, is like a gladiator.
It's Russell Crowe?
No, it's not. Sort of dressed in that attire.
All right, okay.
Like He-Man maybe, kind of like that kind of vibe.
Medieval.
Is fighting with so he's got a sword or something and he's fighting a minotaur.
Okay.
And I
have
no
movies,
idea.
I've already narrowed it down.
Exactly. Do you know what I'm talking about? I've asked a lot of people this question, and nobody can tell me.
Well, there's only going to be a set number of movies with a Minotaur in it, and a Russell Crowe-esque character fighting.
But the thing is, I don't know if
either of these guys. When do you remember this from? Is it from a dream, or did you actually?
No, this is an actual movie that I've thought about a lot, trying to dig up what the hell.
I guess that happens to me as well. Yeah, sometimes. But so this is when you were a kid.
It's when I was a kid.
So then we have to narrow it down to the 90s, medieval film. High budget, low budget. What did the Minotaur look like? Was it CGI?
No, there was no CGI. It was a guy definitely wearing a giant bull head. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
It's probably. One second. Did the movie that you watched was made in the time that you were watching it, or was it an even older film?
I saw it on Star Movies. I saw it on Star Movies. Right. This was Star Movies back when they had Hindi subtitles.
Right.
So what? Yeah, you remember this?
Oh, no, I didn't grow up here.
Oh, right, yeah, they did. They had it, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
I'm pretty sure they had Hindi subtitles, so this would have been maybe I was 6 or 7, so 95, 96.
Yeah. My memory wasn't that good back then either. So not much older than you.
For some reason, I just remember the scene so vividly.
Okay. Before we end, we're going to get to the bottom. When we take a break, which we will right now in a bit, and then we'll talk about Agent Carter.
But I want to talk
We're going to get some of our producers to get on this. Maybe we'll get Vagish to kind of research it, and by the end of the show, you can have a satisfying ending. Yeah? Cool. So,
I just really want to know.
I'm sorry that you had to describe it in such detail, and then I couldn't help you. But we will take a really short break, and then we're going to talk about Agent Carter.
Now, if you want to listen to some brilliant indie music from all over the country, it's really simple. You can find me on Made in India. That's madeinindia.in. My name is May, and it's spelled M-A-E-D. Now, I've had some great artists on the show, including the likes of Nikhil D'Souza, The Cognac Net, Last Remaining Light, Tejas Menon, The Other People, Alicia Pays, Lakshmi Baum, Vasudha Sharma, Ankur Tiwari, and so many more. Now, if you want to subscribe, you can go to iTunes or Stitcher or your favorite podcast app, or you can find me on my website. That's madeinindia.in. That's M-A-E-D, or on Twitter and Facebook on Made in India.
We're back. Yeah. I said it this time.
You can say it whenever you want. Just never stop.
So I always I like to say let's pay some bills, but I just realized that the ad that you just heard was for another podcast on this network. So we're not paying any bills for anything. We're not paying bills by doing this.
Yeah, but I'm sure.
So I'm
sure in a way it does amount to it, because promoting another podcast gets it more attention, and because we're all part of the same network, it kind of helps us do our podcast. So technically, it's kind of doing it.
It's not paying a bill. It's not paying a bill.
I'm not sure.
We're not making money off of letting somebody else brag on our podcast time, because that other person is also.
I wonder what other people say when they have to cut to a break of our show.
Yeah,
we should probably listen to the other.
We should do that.
I actually do listen to others.
I listen to others, and we are not mentioned once.
Yeah, because they know what power we hold. We are a force to reckon with, pun intended. Okay, let's get back to ABC's Agent Carter. It's on ABC, isn't it?
Best show on ABC, I think.
After Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. What, really, Jishnu? You just backpedaled on your own beliefs. My God, have some... I thought you were a man of your word, some value.
Shows how well you know me.
No, but yeah, man.
I think it is
best show on ABC.
I think it's best.
What else is on ABC? Oh, I'll tell you what is. By the way, I just saw it when I was in Pune. There's a show called Once Upon a Time.
Yeah,
have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. I know of it.
I was just looking at it, and I have no introduction to this show whatsoever. I saw it for the first time only a week ago.
With your mom?
And no, this is with my cousins, with my nephew. Sorry, and I just suddenly saw somebody who looks exactly like Elsa, like the princess from Frozen. Yeah. So and I was just like, oh my God, they've just ripped off a Disney thing. And then because I wasn't watching it on ABC, I was watching it on I think Star World or something. And I was like, oh my God, they ripped it off. And then somebody told me that's the whole concept of the show, is that they get all these Disney characters together.
Yeah, that I knew.
And this season is the Frozen season.
It's sort of like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, it's like
TV.
Kingdom Hearts. Yeah. Wow, good ref. Wow. Yeah, that's a perfect way of putting it. Yeah, I love Kingdom Hearts. Great. What a great, again, great concept.
I never finished it.
I don't think anybody can.
I never finished, Kingdom Hearts is like Final Fantasy.
It is a lot like Final Fantasy.
I played 3 Final Fantasies, never finished any of them. Played
Kingdom Hearts,
you have
only 15 more to go.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think Final Fantasy just released Final Fantasy Part 15 or 16 or something.
15 or 16, yeah.
It's just amazing. There was a Final Fantasy film as well.
Oh, is it out?
It came out a long time ago. It was a CGI film called Spirits Within or something like that. It was quite good.
Which one is it based on?
I never played a lot of Final Fantasy. I didn't play any Final Fantasy. Anyway, so
let's talk about the thing we actually said we would.
Okay, cool. So we can't proceed without addressing this though. So our producers are way better than I expected them to be. And they have found the movie that Jishnu has been looking for. It's Time Bandits by Terry Gilliam.
I cannot tell you what this means to me.
Wow.
I've been searching for this movie for I've been half-assing the search really.
I haven't
really tried.
You haven't tried at all.
I really didn't try at all.
Part of it is not searching for it. Because you didn't really want it to remain a mystery.
This question has plagued me literally for 20 years.
Wow. I'm happy, man. I'm glad.
Oh my God, this movie better be good.
Wow. This podcast has brought so many answers to people.
I'm going to illegally download the crap out of this movie tonight.
It's probably on Netflix.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Show which isn't on Netflix. Yeah. Agent Carter.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now that we have solved this,
Oh my God! Wow.
Wow. I would love to know what you're feeling right now.
My little nerdy heart is racing. I can't believe I found this thing.
You should check it out. Time Bandits. And it's Terry Gilliam. I'm surprised that I haven't heard of it before.
And Sean Connery.
And Sean Connery.
I mean, What?
Hey, can I tell you a joke though?
Oh God.
A Sean Connery joke.
Oh,
I think you know this one.
Uh-oh.
But like, what did Sean Connery say when the book fell on top of his head?
What?
I only have myself to blame. Isn't that a great joke though? Oh, that was good. Okay, so we're gonna move on to Agent Carter. Jishnu is silent, but yeah, man, Agent Carter. So I'm just gonna dive into it before you,
Sure, yeah,
before you want to insult my joke.
Yeah.
So I watched a couple of episodes again from the previous season just to kind of catch up on it. And now this. So why we're talking about it is because season 2 has just started.
Yeah.
They had a 1 hour premiere, I think.
2-hour premiere.
So no, it was like so it was like 3 episodes back to back. Is it?
2
episodes.
3
back-to-back.
episodes are out as of the 1st of February.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
The premiere was two episodes, and then they have
okay, cool. And then
third
one more has come out.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're talking about Agent Carter, and it's like actually a really, really good show that I feel I don't know if it's getting like all the praise it should. Like it's quite underrated in that in a few ways.
Yeah.
In the sense that I feel like the one thing I'm really interested in is that this is a character, like I said earlier, who was kind of like Captain America's damsel in distress, but they completely subverted that character. They changed it. They made her like this badass who's played awesomely by Hayley Atwell. Again, I think she just really holds the whole show together, apart from the other side characters. And yeah, man, and it has gone through the movie to this TV show, has come back in another movie, and like it's just like she's been
in 4 movies.
She was there in Captain America,
3 movies.
She's there in I think
4 movies. No, 4. Yeah.
Winter Soldier, Ant-Man,
Cap 2, Ant-Man, and Avengers when she's in his dream for like a half second.
Yeah. Oh, right. She's
in like
Avengers
the Scarlet Witch.
Right. Yeah, so just really awesome. And she's also apparently showed up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, which you're going to talk extensively about. So just like an amazing character. And I think this is the first point that I want to bring up, is that this is something I used to see only in video games, especially, and the example I'm going to use is that of Ezio Auditore from Assassin's Creed, is that if you play the entire, if you're a big Assassin's Creed fan, which I know you are, you have seen the entire lifespan of this character. You've seen it from the time of his birth, like literally that's how Assassin's Creed 2 starts. You have to, as a baby, you have to kick and stuff like that.
Move your head.
Yeah, exactly. Move your head and all that stuff.
Cry.
And then, so you play it until Revelations. This is where he gives up being an assassin. And then there's a short film, like the animated film, in which he sees his last few days as Ezio. And like we've seen the entire lifespan of this character, and like through different places, you've seen it. And I think now, like with characters like Hayley Atwell's Agent Carter, you're seeing that for the first time, I think, in film. I'm not sure. Maybe Wolverine, you've seen a lot of him through different points of time in his life. But like we're seeing like an entire lifespans of character. Like another character which is coming to mind, obviously, Han Solo, man.
I was just going to say, it's Star Wars, is that.
Exactly.
Lord of the Rings, kind of. Bilbo, yeah.
Lord of the Rings has done that. But like, I feel like now, with Captain America, they're making such a rich kind of entire history. It's not entirely accurate. There's a lot of discrepancies here and there, but it's still great, man. Like, and I love that, dude. I love that they've been able to do that and tie in like Dum Dum Dugan characters from like Captain America back into the. I know,
Dum Dum.
Amazing character name. But yeah, man, that's what I've just found fascinating, and only because we decided to do this episode. So I was just like thinking about it. I was like, wow, I don't think that's been done in such an extent. I don't know. What do you think?
I think she's amazing, and I like you said, it hasn't really got the praise that I think it should get. It did make waves though when it first started. Like the first season, first couple episodes, people were very impressed with it, and had such a strong, and still has such a strong female lead.
Yeah.
And just the character in general is a really solid role model, just in every which way.
Yeah.
In every which way. The relationship she has with Jarvis is great.
Amazing.
I absolutely love Jarvis.
Yeah.
He I keep forgetting about him, but every time I see the
Great
show,
actor,
I almost want to know more about him.
Yeah, it's true.
And obviously, I love Tony Stark, Howard Stark,
Dominic Cooper.
Yeah,
he's awesome. Whenever he just shows up, he just like makes the episode.
So speaking of
Dominic Cooper.
Speaking of seeing a character throughout their entire life.
Exactly, Howard Stark.
We've seen him in 3 different iterations.
Yeah, so we've seen him. So first, I think he's in Iron Man 2.
Yeah,
where he's played by
what's his name? Madman guy.
Yeah, Madman guy. I think something Vincent. No.
Something Sterling. Or is that his name in Mad Men?
Probably.
I think that's his name in Mad Men.
He's also there in Wet Hot American Summer. Anyway, but great actor, that guy. And I think at the end of Iron Man 2, he kind of basically says, "Oh, you know, Tony Stark, you are my greatest creation." And you just realize that he's not really a bad guy, you know, so much that he's like that. Tony Stark has played him out to be in his head, and then now you kind of find out who he is in this show. And I think that's like spectacular. And I think they didn't use Dominic Cooper's character. I mean, his version of
Ant-Man.
it. For Ant-Man, they use
Sterling.
They use Sterling, it was just so cool. And it's so weird because they've aged, you know, Hayley Atwell for it.
Yeah, but they didn't because I guess they shot themselves in the foot. They already had the other guy.
Continuity.
Yeah.
So do you think when it comes to like now when casting has become such a harder job, right?
Yeah,
like,
definitely. I mean, like especially now with, you know, think about Jane Foster is going to become Thor.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I really don't want to see Natalie Portman do that. I really don't.
I mean, I'd much rather her not. Yeah. In fact, like a character I'm missing who's like supposed to be like the female like love interest is Betty Ross, man, who's supposed to be Bruce Banner's actual, who was played by Jennifer Connelly in the first Hulk, the Hulk with Ang Lee Hulk, which I really love, and I will keep that. And then, you know, Liv Tyler played her, and then they've kind of like removed her character from like the series, even though Incredible Hulk is still part of the canon of the Marvel, you know, cinematic universe. They've removed the character, and I'm just like, what? Why? Betty Ross originally is the only person who can calm the Hulk down. And you know, she's such a great character. She's a scientist as well. And this is something that I love about Agent Carter as well, is that, you know, and this is my problem with Wonder Woman, is that Wonder Woman right now is coming out at a time which is, it's so late, you know, like I'm not, you know, and we're talking about these empowered heroines and stuff like that who are like, you know, like Rey and stuff. I'm less interested to see a female character who's now got the strength of what used to be a stereotypical masculine character. But I'm more interested in seeing somebody who's like really like, who's like super smart and edgy and like almost
she might be. I mean,
Sherlockian. The Wonder Woman?
Yeah,
it's possible.
I don't know.
Like one of my favorite things about Agent Carter is that she can kick ass literally physically, but she's like really smart. Like in the first season, how she pretty much evades. She does her own investigation.
Yeah, she's tenacious as all hell.
Yeah. And you know, she conducts her own investigation under the noses of the Strategic Scientific Reserve, SSR. Yeah. Which I guess is like the precursor to S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes,
yeah, pretty much. Okay, so
cheeky grin,
just like smiling. So yeah, man, and I just really love that about her, and you know, she's just maintained that thing throughout the entire season. What do you think? So the first season is about Leviathan. Yeah. So what do you think of that arc, man? Like it was mostly about clearing Howard Stark's name, which I thought was good. Like it was interesting. I don't know if it held for like 8 episodes though. I think towards the end,
it
somewhere in the middle, I think it slipped. But
it did slip a little bit. But that being said, it's honestly like much like with Gotham.
No,
not about the actual show. Just what actually you mentioned this as well when we talked about Gotham. The art direction.
Yeah,
it's just this show also is just a beautiful show to watch.
It's a beautiful show.
You don't see them like this. Every other day. Yeah, the first season did, you know, have a hiccup here and there, but that's fine. It was still amazing. And now I have a cheeky grin on my face because I'm getting the payoff of being
an
big Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan, because now, like, this is why I'm really excited about that show, because now there's so much happening.
They're tying in together.
Everything is tying in together.
So, just why don't we start with Agent Carter? I know has appeared in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. As in like, I think there have been a couple of flashback episodes, something like that. She's been there in it?
Unless I'm forgetting one, I don't think so.
Okay, cool.
No.
Alright, so it's what I've read so far, but...
has she?
It's possible. Again, like some flashback, to create some vital piece of information.
Maybe.
But I think right now where season 2 is heading is like very much in the vein of...
I guess this is statutory spoiler alert. Right? Spoiler warning, kind of a little bit for the
3 episodes.
For the 3 episodes.
Yeah, okay.
So the big thing that's happened with these 3 episodes is there's this new thing, the substance called zero matter.
Zero matter, yeah.
Right? And they don't know what it is, and it's this sort of weird portal kind of thing that's going on, and like it sucks in. It
basically keeps energy, like sucks energy.
Essentially like it's a black hole kind of a thing. They don't really know what's going on with it. So there's this one piece of archival footage that they found that the SSR had. Oh, was it the SSR? Who had the footage?
So the footage is by Isodyne, which is a new kind of baddie company in that sense.
So Isodyne had this, which is this mysterious, you know, scientific research company.
Kind of like AIM was in...
kind of like every stereotypical scientific company
in Iron Man and stuff like that.
Yeah. So they had this footage of this test that they did, and it looked, sort of mirrored like the sort of like an atom bomb test kind of footage.
Yeah.
So where you would expect to see a giant explosion, you see this black ooze that just sucks in everything, cars, people, dirt. Which every time I see that, I'm like, how did the camera survive?
That's exactly what I thought.
I was like, I want to know what tripod that guy has.
Exactly what I thought. Oh my gosh, good.
But what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So
good camera.
So here is the two big links that are happening with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and do you want to know? Because I'm going to spoil Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for you.
So this is what I'll tell you what I know so far, and just tell me if that's enough to know or not.
Right,
but
sure.
So there's this club that they have been part of. So basically, in the first few episodes which you've seen, Dottie's character, who's like the. By the way, sorry, just for a moment on Dottie. So Dottie's like. She was part of Leviathan, which is this kind of group which kind of raises these young girls to kind of... So I'm sure that itself is a precursor to the Red Room, which is where...
Black Widow.
Scarlett Johansson's
I'm sure
character.
there's going to be some
kind of overlay or something like that.
Because
it's a Russian thing.
Yeah, she's got the moves. She's been trained.
So I
in a
think that
similar
will
way.
So into the Red Room, which we saw a few glimpses of.
So we might get to see like a young Black Widow, like a baby Black Widow, or something like that. Maybe.
Oh, this is 1940. No,
maybe if
maybe
they go
not.
ahead. If they go ahead.
If they go ahead, that's what actually I'm interested in. They hope they skip like eras, and this is what
because we know Peggy survives until present day, right?
That's what she said as well. Hayley Atwell.
We're going to see. Who knows how much we'll see?
Exactly. Yeah. So coming back, she finds this kind of lapel pin, which has a symbol on it.
Yeah.
And so from what I know is that is a symbol that now has been featured a lot in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and it's basically dating back to what I think we spoke of in the previous episode, is that there's this organization of which Hydra is now just one newer version of it, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it has a name, but so now this is what I was going to tell you because is that I don't don't know where I read this, but there was an interview saying that this organization, which is now there, it's called the Archers Club, or what is it called? I don't know.
Something like that.
Some club. It's like a gentleman's club, but has a ulterior kind of motive.
Right.
They are not exactly going to be connected to what is happening right now, but I think this is supposed to be like a kind of a nod to what might appear in the future. So I don't know if there's going to be a direct connection where they're going to be like the beginnings of not Hydra, because Hydra's already existed in Captain America, which we know has happened already, but like a different version of what already exists. Yeah. So I don't know, is that like something that is close?
Everything is accurate with all that. There is a lot more to it.
Sure,
but then I don't know, how much do you want to know?
I'm going to watch it. I am watching most of it, so I'm going to probably watch it. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll tell you what's up.
Yeah.
Okay, so that symbol, right, like you said, is constantly changing. So this organization that Hydra is now a new incarnation of, it gets a new name every however couple decades, couple hundred years, whatever,
Sure.
So right now it's the whatever club, I suppose.
In this, it's like the Archer. I can't remember.
The something club. Used to be Hydra. Before that, used to be something else. And so whenever the name changes, the symbol changes. So Hydra has the octopus thing, right?
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
So in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they've discovered portals, right?
You mean Hydra has a Hydra, by the way? Or is it an octopus? Hydra. I was just gonna say.
Yeah. I guess
it looks like an octopus, but it's a Hydra. It's actually
that would
cut off its head and another.
Yes, right. Cool. I watched the show.
Hydra is the octopus. Yeah. But no, go ahead. Sorry. I just like wait, what? I was just like, no. Sorry.
So the organization gets a new name every so often. It gets a new symbol. Now that symbol is very reminiscent of a symbol that they found in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
In relation to this other portal thing that's going on with them.
Right.
And it's one of those stupid things in which they realized it was something else because they're like, oh, it's a V, but actually it's an A. If you turn it upside down. Oh! So that was kind of stupid. But either which way. So with this portal that they're going through, so right now the whole Inhuman story that they have is about the Kree. Right?
Of course.
Which we've seen before in Avengers and whatnot, and Guardians and all that stuff. So the Kree we know about a good amount. But basically, there's this thing called the obelisk, right? Which is this sort of like, it looks like this giant rock, like a big fossil, which it kind of is. It's an ancient fossil that's thousands of years old. Okay, and S.H.I.E.L.D. finally get a hold of it, and they are able to control it because they have Skye, played by Chloe Bennet, the main girl,
who is an Inhuman.
They found out later. And being an Inhuman, she can actually communicate with it or like, control it in some extent.
Okay.
When humans, regular people who don't have any Kree blood in them, meet with this thing, then they die, and that's always been the problem.
Okay.
So when Hydra or this Archer's Club or whatever the hell it's called,
Yeah.
whenever they try to control it, they'd be like, oh, we can't do anything, but we will keep it to ourselves, and we will
So there are
find
no
a way to...
Inhumans in the Hydra.
There might have been. It's sort of like
unclear.
It's unclear.
Okay. All right.
Because they're just different generations of it, right?
Yeah.
So right now with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., people are going back in time, not going back in time, like trying to like look as far back as they can and research about,
what happened. Yeah.
So, they're resurrecting Hydra for like the third time now, essentially. But they keep.
Well, that's the whole point of Hydra is you cut its head off, and tomorrow will grow.
And they're keeping it consistent. Right? They're still calling it Hydra, which is nice, rather than changing the name every couple of years.
Cool.
Because that would get confusing. But
they just I can just imagine they had like a committee meeting.
So one really cool thing from just that opening episode, the double episode, was with that piece of footage that we were talking about that they found.
Is
where
that
the thing
there?
which sucks and all that stuff. So the obelisk. When S.H.I.E.L.D. have it locked up, they have built a room for it, and it's in this glass cage, so like nothing can get to it. But the obelisk, every so often randomly, goes from a giant 8-foot rock into this black ooze, and
which is pretty much this.
Oh. And they couldn't understand it. And eventually, one of the team members from S.H.I.E.L.D. gets sucked into it. Because she gets snoopy and tries to do something on her own. She's one of the researchers, and she gets pulled in, ends up in another planet in another galaxy.
Okay.
Right? And then she's trapped there, oh my god, what the hell's going on? And then she, does some sniffing around on the planet and finds some stuff, amongst which is basically everything you saw getting sucked in that video.
That's so cool.
Right? It's a tiny thing. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I'm right about that because it's the truck and the little things.
Oh,
so,
excellent, man.
So
That's
my
good.
money's on the fact that this is the same thing. Because what we find out, so this obelisk has been around for the entire season of S.H.I.E.L.D. that started, 6 months ago. And at the end of this first half of the season, which was in December or whenever, we found out that there are multiple obelisk-type rocks. And so there are several of them scattered around all over the place.
Okay.
And so there are different people from all over the world that, have been able to
that's so
use
cool.
this around.
Man.
So,
I love this amazing meta kind of universe. That's excellent.
S.H.I.E.L.D. has its foot in every other little thing at this point, which is great.
I should watch it.
It's so good. It's so good.
Good. You have convinced me. No, I should definitely watch it. No, I love it, man. I love that what they're doing with. I mean, just like this one detail that you've just told me. That's amazing, man. Like stuff like that, the Red Room, with even with Dottie's character and stuff. Like I just love that. I know eventually where this is going to kind of go, but I'm interested to know how it gets there. That's really cool. Having said that, though, I do have a few criticisms for this season, and it's just I don't like Dr. Wilkes. I'm not his biggest fan.
He's not.
He seems pretty meh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing engaging about him.
And this, so in the third episode, he basically becomes Patrick Swayze in Ghost. And
he's
just
Patrick
walks
Swayze
and I was
Ghost,
that didn't really. I will admit, I'm very excited because of this link with S.H.I.E.L.D. that it's got, and the storylines I'm meeting.
Yeah.
But that being said, on its own, these 3 episodes, I was not very...
I liked the first episode. I thought the first episode was great. because it's... I like that they've shifted... So now they've shifted from New York to LA. And I thought that was cool. And I just like the whole Frozen thing. They led that up to the zero matter very cleverly. That it sucks out all energy and stuff like that. And I like the Isodyne thing. And, so Chad Michael Murray's character, that was one of my favorite parts. He's basically he's the new captain of...
He's the captain... What's his name? Sousa.
No, Sousa is
not Sousa. The other guy.
The other guy. The one who's in New York.
Yeah.
So he doesn't believe her as usual.
Right.
And I like that at the end of episode 3, basically what she's referenced earlier was about this newspaper that, tells you what's going to be the news the next day, which means that everything's being controlled.
Yeah.
He kind of just sees it at the end. And I love that moment. That was great.
Which is mirroring Iron Man 2. The Senator?
Exactly, yeah.
So Hydra, this iteration of Hydra, they've always been doing this thing.
Yeah, getting involved
they've always been
politically.
In the back room of every major political decision of some sort, and all these things. So it's all linking up. It's great.
The one thing that I also am enjoying is which I feel is like the ace in this series is Madame Mask's character, which is now, so what has happened with the Zero Matter is it's been sucked in. So there was a little explosion that Isodyne, right?
Yeah.
And it gets sucked into Whitney Frost, who is the senator's wife. And now she's kind of controlling all this. And so just what I've read is that she's supposed to be Madame Mask.
Which means she's a Kree.
It's possible.
She can live with it.
Yeah, she can live
Anybody
with it.
else would have died.
That's true. Oh.
It's the same thing, right? So she is an Inhuman. She just doesn't know it yet.
Damn.
Right.
And she may never.
She may never know it because that whole thing has never.
Excellent. That's so good. So, and Madame Mask, obviously, very, very famous character from the Iron Man. So I think it's kind of shifted from like Captain America's shadow, now going to this Iron Man-ish kind of space of things. In fact, like Isodyne just itself reminds me of AIM, or even like in Ant-Man, what is the name of the company? The not PIM party, like what? I can't remember. It was one of those scientific centers. Yeah. So I like that it's kind of heading in that really scientific space, and but just like it's great. And so basically Madame Mask is a very famous character in the comics. She's originally kind of like a love interest. I haven't read Tales of Suspense, though actually we should, because a lot of these characters are being pulled from Tales of Suspense, which happened in like the 60s, 70s. And so now, more recently, Madame Mask has been like, she's a villain, and she has a much like different kind of origin than what is being shown in this kind of show. But it's cool, man. Like Madame Mask is actually a contemporary, and she's Tony Stark's love interest, and then they become enemies and stuff. And she's there in Secret War. She's there in Civil War. She's there in Secret Invasion is what I meant. And she's there in the Heroic Age, blah blah blah, Dark Reign, all those storylines. So she's kind of important, and like that they've brought her into this is really cool. That they've just like I love how they just have this wealth of characters. They're just pulling, and you can just place anywhere. That's so great. And I think it's basically now that the scar that she's getting by possessing the dark matter is what's going to have her put on the mask probably at some point. So that's I like that, man. That's great, man. It's good stuff. I mean I love the character, so it's good to see like a more she's not A-list by any means, but like she's like a B-list kind of main-ish character. So it's cool to see her there. So yeah, man.
I'm excited to see. I think. Is this an 8-episode season or 10? I
hope it's 8, man.
I don't know.
Because I think 8 was like perfect. I feel like the lesser
the fewer the better, man. Likewise. These are movies. Every episode is a movie. So just make less movies and make
it's
them
good.
good.
It's definitely
good.
But
I'd be willing to bet that we see, if not the actual S.H.I.E.L.D. logo itself,
at the end of the show,
at the end of the show, definitely. But at the end of the season, I don't think we're going to see.
You think
them.
they're going to start S.H.I.E.L.D. by the time the season ends?
I think the team, the core team of maybe Peggy, Sousa, Jarvis, Stoney, and the boss, whatever his name is, we can't remember.
Damn it, I can't remember his name.
So they likely, I think, will sort of like commit treason of some sort and like break away from the SSR, because the SSR will end up being controlled by these other guys, because
these new guys,
because the political leaders will say, SSR, you're one of us and you're part of you're a government agency and we are the government, so you technically need to work with us. And then SSR is like, no, but actually, we know you guys are crooks.
I hope they break off. Yeah, that would be really cool.
They're bound to.
And even the what's her name? The secretary, Rose. I think I can't remember her name.
Oh,
the one who does
with the phone.
She's awesome. She's great. Yeah. So yeah, man.
I don't know if you know. I really don't know Nick Fury's origin.
So I don't know.
Have you read about him?
About Nick Fury? No. So he was a normal. Like he has a military background in the comic when he was white. and played by David Hasselhoff.
He pulled a reverse Michael Jackson.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I told you, right? Like, I think they made him black. No, I think it's he was black in the Ultimates, and in the Ultimates he says, because they're making movies about it, where he says, if anybody gets to play me, it should be Samuel L. Anyway, so I'll tell you what, I have a lot more like stuff to kind of get into.
Okay.
Especially now we can take this directly into the next Captain America, just like a few connections. So we're gonna talk about that in a bit. We're gonna take a short break, hear about some other podcasts, and we'll be right back.
You can listen to Cyrus Says from our apps on iOS, Android, or our website, cyrussays.in. You can also listen to services like iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, SoundCloud, or your favorite podcasting softwares. It's cyrussays.in.
Hello again.
And we're back.
It's me.
The Geek Food Podcast.
I've been the Geek Food Podcast. Dreaming. I don't know the words to Hello. I was trying to do that.
Hello by Lionel Richie?
By Adele.
Wait, no, you can't say it in that tone.
I just said California. I said, hello, it's me. I've been California dreaming.
That's not what she says.
Isn't that the line? That's a
hello,
line.
Can you hear me? I've been...
can you hear me?
Is California dreaming is what she says?
Doesn't she?
It's not... I've been California dreaming. It's I'm in California, and that's a big deal for Adele because she's from the UK, man. It's like if
so is she calling somebody back in London?
It's like if we went to Kharghar, then we'd be like, I'm in Kharghar. eating.
We're going to Kodala.
food.
Where is Kodala?
Kodala
We're
is
going there this
outside Bombay.
weekend. That's brilliant. That
Little
helps me
outside
so
Bombay.
much. What does that mean?
Does it matter so much?
I
for
want to
you?
know how long the ride is going to be.
It's going to be a couple of hours, man.
A couple of hours?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
2 or
We
like
can do a
5?
podcast on the way.
We should not, because it'll be very early in the morning and
This is
it's
true.
not happening. Anyway.
We are back talking about Agent Carter. So before we go, I really want to do this,
What?
and that is give due credit to these guys, man. Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. So these guys are screenwriters, and they have been like literally, a lot of people give a lot of credit to Joss Whedon and, the way he's kind of helped and Kevin Feige. But these guys are as important and crucial to the Marvel Universe as anybody else. And these guys have been writing some of the better films that have been coming out, including all 3 Captain Americas they've written. So, I mean, we don't know how the third one is just yet.
Sure.
We'll probably speak about when it comes out. But, the first 2 were really nice, especially Winter Soldier, one of my favorites, if not my favorite from the whole, Marvel Cinematic Universe. And also they've done Thor: The Dark World, which I much preferred to the first one.
Yeah.
I really liked it. And now they are doing the biggest one yet, which is they're doing the 2-part Infinity War. So it's like big responsibility for these guys.
So they're writing it, but the Russo brothers are directing it.
So Russo's are directing it.
Okay.
But yeah, these guys are like pretty
cool.
They're really important, man.
Awesome.
And they've been so good, man. Like I really like how they've kind of bent their writing style to the genre of the film. Like I feel like they have even though I don't think they've been comic book writers previously, but they've just like adapted the exact pace of a comic book in these films, especially the Captain America films. I really, really like have. Those are amazing, man.
Of
like
course,
especially
I love
when so good.
No, not the first one. I was not the biggest fan of the first one.
I still liked it because again period piece and it did had like it did have its really good parts. Like okay, so just
Hayley Atwell.
Hayley Atwell
Again,
one. Okay, they are the people who made Peggy Carter a real like thing.
Sure.
She's a franchise by herself. It's great.
Totally.
So completely responsible for that.
Yeah.
Also getting Tommy Lee Jones in the first movie.
I totally forgot about him.
Because again, I saw Captain America recently.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Like, it's got such a great cast. It's got, what's his name, man? Hunger Games, the guy, one of my favorite guys, Steven Tucci?
Stanley Tucci.
Stanley Tucci!
Yeah, I love
Stanley Tucci.
He's great in anything.
Yeah, he's amazing in everything, pretty much.
Yeah.
And he's the guy who makes Captain America, like, he's the one who
Right.
swears that oath. He says, get them back for me.
Yeah.
And so, like, that movie had a lot of good qualities, actually, which I feel just, I don't know, overlooked. And, that whole... and I think they've adapted that well into Agent Carter, which is that, that whole... they basically make him a poster boy first in the army, right?
Yeah.
And he has to go and dance and sing and all this stuff. And there's those radio dramas.
That was fun. I remember that.
And they've taken those radio dramas so well and put them in the show. And I just love that.
Do you remember one of my favorite scenes I just remembered from the first season of Agent Carter was the radio drama show.
Yeah, and they've interspersed it with
and like the fight scene with the radio drama playing. That was such a good episode. That was a brilliant episode.
And so they brought it back in the last episode, just before, he fights Ivchenko. By the way, who's a character who's back. The main villain, the guy who can... by the way, here's something I heard. So, Ivchenko, Dr. Ivchenko...
That was 2 by the ways. You still haven't said your first by the way.
I know, I do that often. But let me just get into Dr. Ivchenko. So he's like the primary antagonist for the first season, right? And his main power is that, he can manipulate minds and mind control, right?
Yes,
that guy, the main guy.
Yeah,
he's like, focus
on the ring.
Focus on the...
Whatever happened to him? Did he die?
So he goes to jail. And in jail... there's a post-credit scene at the end where he meets Arnim Zola.
Yes.
So Zola. Apparently Ivchenko and Zola are going to be then working their next project after they break out is working on the Winter Soldier and brainwashing him. That's how the Winter Soldier has not. His mind is blank and everything like that.
Because he lost focus.
He lost focus. And here's the other awesome thing. So apparently one of the rings on his finger is one of the 10 rings which is the focus ring. From Iron Man, the Mandarin, basically.
Oh, I thought you meant like
not the Infinity Stones.
No, I thought you meant like Lord of the Rings.
Oh no!
I was like, what?
Those are 9 rings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was like,
9 plus 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so Ivchenko is still not made an appearance in the next season, but we still have Dottie who's there.
So I was talking about really excited to see SSR become S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to see a younger Michael Douglas again?
I hope so, man.
Because we have to see Hank Pym.
That would be amazing. Actually, it's a very good point.
Are they going to recast him? I mean, they did show him younger. They showed him younger for like a scene at the beginning of Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, which was great. That was one of my favorite scenes.
And he looked amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't look too bad at all.
I think if they're going to do it, they might just recast him. Like, they'll basically Dominic Cooper it.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind, though.
But Michael Douglas is such a good actor.
And he's iconic.
You lose that bravado. I mean,
Howard Stark, it's like the first guy, you can't recast him.
Exactly. We barely know Howard Stark. Now we know Hank Pym pretty well.
Yeah. It's the same problem we're facing with, casting Han Solo right now, young Han Solo, which we're not happy with, as we mentioned earlier. But yeah, man. Anyway, so I think, what about Sousa, man? I really like him. He doesn't remind you of Joseph Gordon-Levitt in a weird way. Like, he's got the same face.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Did you know Sousa is in, the actor is in Avengers?
Yeah, so this
is one of those cops.
The cops, right?
He's one of the cops who is in the Battle of New York. So he's like a lieutenant, and there's like his sergeant.
And then he tells him, go cover these areas and form a
before
perimeter?
that. So the guy who tells Captain America, why should I take orders from you? And then, he does the stuff, and he says, yes, okay, go do this, go do that.
Yeah.
Sousa comes up to him. Sousa's he's Sousa's superior.
Oh, right,
If I can be coherent about this.
Okay, cool.
Sousa goes up to him, and his boss, that guy, is like, oh, we need the National Guard. And then, like, Sousa goes like...
Not Sousa, but yeah,
he's basically Sousa. I mean, he's like, oh, the National Guard, do they even know what's happening out here? And Sousa's like, do we?
Oh, that's his line?
That's his line. Because it's like, aliens are coming, and he's like, National Guard, we don't know what's happening. Like, they don't know what's happening. He's like, do we even know what's happening?
Nice. I see. He's got two words. So he's the only character who's appeared twice in the entire series of Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Appeared twice as two different people.
As two different people, yeah, pretty much.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, who else? No one else.
Really?
Yeah. I think his name is Enver Gyokaj or something like that. I can't even pronounce it. It's G-J.
Oh, he's the guy with the weird name. Yeah, every time I see the credits, I'm
Enver
like,
or something. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it just makes so much of a difference, right? Having an easy name.
Yeah.
Just remember, like you'll remember Victor Garbo like anytime, like because he's like, it's just the name is that, and you're just like, oh, I know it. But this one is really hard. But I like his character, man. So I think this engagement of his is going to be a sham for sure. Because by the way, do we know who Peggy Carter gets married to? We don't, right?
She gets married to...
Because she says, I think she tells Steve Rogers, she moves on, right?
Yeah.
And this is an important question. Okay, there's a plan behind this question.
Better be good.
Yeah. So we don't know who she gets married to. So they have saved themselves of keeping the mystery up in the show itself. She might get married to anybody of these guys. She might get married to. Well, only Sousa is pretty much the only option. I don't think Wilkes is going to be a important character.
No, he's going to die out soon.
I hope so.
I want him to.
Yeah,
I really don't care about him. I really don't care about him.
But you know what I was thinking would be really weird though?
What?
What if she got married to Howard Stark? And then it's weird because then he has like Tony Stark, and then Captain America is his ex, like mom's. I just thought that would be really confusing for everybody.
That'd be great. That'd be great because then in Civil War they're like,
"Oh, you slept with my mom."
You slept with my mom?
Well, he didn't sleep with her.
You slept with my... Yeah, didn't they?
They didn't sleep together.
Didn't they?
They barely kissed. This is not something that I think I know much about, like, in the show. But I don't know. They wouldn't have revealed anything anyway. Oh. But they were in love, and they didn't get married and what else. And then they meet later on. So, But here's the point of it all, though. Whoever she does marry, she's gonna... And this is what I think is going to happen, because it happens in the comics, especially in Civil War. Now we've been introduced to Sharon, who is Captain America's, the nurse, so to speak. Nurse.
Agent 13.
Yeah, Agent 13, who's actually an agent anyway.
Yeah.
And she's supposed to be Sharon Carter from the comics, who ultimately, spoiler alert, goes and, shoots Captain America in the back because she's been brainwashed by the Red Skull.
Yeah.
But obviously there's no Red Skull, so we don't know how that's going to turn out in the movie.
Right.
Having said that, so Sharon Carter is a relative, or if not daughter, of Peggy Carter.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be. So have they established that in the movie? They haven't at all, right?
Established what?
Like that Sharon Carter, she's Sharon Carter A, and then B, is she Sharon Carter, daughter of Peggy?
No,
Carter?
they haven't established. I think
Have they said her
she
full
is.
name?
I think she is
Sharon
Sharon.
Carter?
I think
She's Sharon for sure. They've
Sharon.
not said
I think
anything
that's
else.
all that we know. That and nothing else has been established.
Yeah.
But okay, let's go down this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So what do we know about her? She's blonde.
Yeah.
Peggy Carter is not blonde.
Well,
there's only one other blonde guy besides Jarvis on that show. That boss guy whose
boss
name we
guy,
can't
we
remember.
can't remember.
Oh my goodness, that'd be crazy if they get married and like have
Well, they
babies.
could have had a character
That
who
wouldn't
they've
be
not
that
yet
exciting.
introduced yet. But I hope it's Sousa because he's cool, man. Like, and he's a good character. He's the only one who's ever been supportive of her from the beginning. And like, for the longest time, I thought his name was Susan. Yeah, I don't know why, but like, yeah, he's a great character, man, and he's like solid. Like, he's cool, man. Like, I dig it, and I think though unless she gets married to Jarvis, that would be weird
That'd be awkward.
because he's married already.
And then he's like a robot now.
But did you catch that one?
I love that line.
That one.
I don't want to be a disembodied
voice. That was a great Easter egg. I loved that.
That was nice.
I was just like, this is great. And there was another shot, by the way. I don't know if you caught it in the third episode, where basically it was weirdly done, but it was quite obvious. So they're in that laboratory, and Howard Stark is trying to figure out, what is like how to bring him back into the physical realm. And like he's like, oh, no, I need to go to Peru. And like he leaves, and it lingers on this one stained glass which is outside, and the stained glass is exactly like the arc reactor.
Oh, nice.
Which is like
The circle
the
thing.
circle, yeah.
Oh,
and it's got
very
I was just like, whoa, is that
because he built it. I mean, like he's.
Did he build it or did Tony Stark build it?
He built the schematics for it because remember in Iron Man 2,
Right.
he's got that giant,
the shape of the park, the expo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's built
Stark
the
Expo,
model
yeah.
for it, so
that's
he
true.
knows what needs to get done. He just can't do it.
Dude, I love this show. I love this universe. It's so
so
good,
great.
man.
It's so great.
It's so amazing.
It's so great.
Dude, that's what I love. It's Marvel just doing it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're the only people who have successfully taken exactly what people love about their comics is that the crossovers and, all characters, different people like meeting and stuff.
Yeah.
And like literally transfer it to screen. How
We
great
should
is that?
eventually. Once
Yeah.
we actually watch a little bit of it. I don't think you've seen it. I haven't, definitely.
Which one?
DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, so
I haven't seen anything.
we will get to it, yeah.
Eventually
I suppose.
we should.
Yeah.
Because
We'll probably do an episode on it.
that's their attempt at doing this right.
But that's the thing, it's only on a television level.
yeah.
And while that's still great, because I still prefer what they're doing on television than what they're attempting to do with the movies. Yeah, man, I don't know. It doesn't have the weight of what like Marvel is doing because they're so interconnected and stuff like that. So anyway, Agent Carter. Overall, season 2, what do you think? Just last kind of final thought. Where do you think it's going to go, I think, this season? What is the
Like I said,
point of this season?
the point
the
of the
dark
season.
matter, I guess. The
dark matter, getting to know
The
more
zero
about
matter,
that,
yeah.
the zero matter, getting to know more about that. And then that will basically, more so than finding out what exactly the dark matter is, because I don't think they can, because if they do, then it's going to really dishevel
what's happening in the future,
50 years in the
Unless
future
they
right now.
find out and then that secret dies with all of them.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it could be.
They get sucked in to the dark
You remember
matter.
in Captain America it happens, right? Like when the last scene of the first Avenger is like they're on the Blackbird, the plane.
Yeah.
And they're fighting. It's a fisticuff between just Captain America and Red Skull. And like they drop the Tesseract, it comes out and like immediately kind of like broadcasts, like projects this outer realm thing.
Yeah.
And they are the only people who see that. And then it goes like forever. Like it gets, yeah.
Because Skull dies and Cap gets frozen.
Yeah, but they find the Tesseract.
they find it.
Yeah, so yeah.
So my bet is it's via the zero matter as like the main driving, the main driving force for the narrative. It's basically going to be about realizing that there is this stronger force, which is the Hydra incarnation that is currently happening, and then only a small team of the SSR will be smart enough to notice it, and then they commit treason of some sort and they fight back against it, and they get sort of excommunicated from the SSR, and they're like, well, screw it, we need to make our own thing. We have the resources, we have Tony's money, we have all this stuff together, so let's do that. And it'll start stepping stones for
the S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, that's what
Meanwhile, like you said, which I'm glad I didn't think about it at all, you'll find those two in the back room. Focus.
Oh, Ivchenko.
Yeah,
Focus. Focus on your family.
And the other guy,
Arnim Zola.
Yeah, and Zola.
But we know how Zola ends, right? Because in Winter Soldier,
exactly.
he's a machine.
So we'll just see them maybe like cameo a little bit at the end. Maybe they'll only come back again in the Easter egg at the end of the season.
Yeah, it's possible.
Sort of putting Winter Soldier plans together.
Because see, like they have in this sense, like because Civil War is like due like in a few months, it is only in their interest to kind of set up maybe Civil War-y kind of
absolutely.
things.
And so I think
is that what they're doing on Agents?
Very well. Kind of. Yeah, actually,
Anything about the Superhero Registration Act, pretty much?
No, nothing about the Registration Act yet.
Okay.
But
It's
it
possible.
is the exact same problem that the Superhero Registration Act is the exact same problem that the Inhumans are facing.
Okay.
The Inhumans, like I said, they're basically like X-Men, right? They don't want to be put into cages by S.H.I.E.L.D. Even though S.H.I.E.L.D. wants to help them, they want to be totally free to do what they want to do.
So that's what's happening right now, pretty much.
It's
the same theme.
The theme right now with S.H.I.E.L.D. is that there's only a handful of good Inhumans on their side.
Right.
Like 3 of them, I believe.
Yeah.
And S.H.I.E.L.D. is basically episode after episode alongside this whole bottles and all that stuff. Apart from all that, at the moment they're basically going episode by episode, tracking a different Inhuman, and trying to.
Man, this is what I've found really interesting about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Is this, and even though I need to still catch up with it, but it's just like it has to navigate between so many different movies and shows and stuff.
Yeah.
So it really is good. Like they have to write it like really well. Yeah.
And it's written by Jed Whedon and Melissa
Tancherone.
Is that how you say her name?
Tancherone?
Yeah. So.
I wonder if she has any relation to Kevin Tancherone, the guy who directed the Mortal Kombat miniseries for Machinima.
I have no idea.
Anyway,
But
who also, by the way, directed an episode of Flash. Sorry, go on. Yeah.
Well, so I mean, like these two did a whole lot of stuff with Joss on Avengers as well, and then obviously this came out of that. Yeah. And they did things like Dr. Horrible, which I love.
Yeah.
And so,
they're great. They're excellent. That full family, man.
That entire team that travels as a one big family circus is amazing. So
that's cool, man.
Very safe hands.
Awesome. So on that note, we're gonna take a short break, and then we're gonna discuss random news segments about stuff that has happened recently. And I think there's a bunch of stuff which we haven't really spoken about. But yeah, we'll do that. In a bit.
Do it.
Hi, I'm Amit Gurbaksani.
I'm Purva Mehra.
And I'm Pranuti Datta. And we're from a city website called The Daily Pow. And we have a new podcast called The Powcast. So you can listen to us on the Indus Rock SoundCloud page as well as iTunes, Stitcher, and TuneIn.
Random News Generator.
Cool. So it's time for random news, man.
Yep.
Go. Actually, maybe I should go first.
You go.
And I'll just do this. I'll be the. There's no good cop or bad cop here, but I'll just do the one that we should talk about instead of taking a really, really fascinating piece of trivia, which is that I hope you saw it, but
what?
The new Suicide Squad trailer.
The new Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. No, I think that's definitely worth discussing. Yeah. So what did you think? I thought it was amazing. Like it was really good. I loved it. So that's why I wanted to talk about it.
I thought it was good because it didn't tell me anything. That is what I really love about trailers.
I was going to ask you about that because you hate watching a lot. Like there was a lot of footage in there.
There was a lot of. It was a very long. Well, how long was it?
It was about 2.5.
It was about 2.5. Yeah, long enough. But yeah, there was no dialogue.
A little bit. I mean, just catchphrases
and little things like that. Yeah. Which was good. So I didn't think it was mind blowing. I know you loved it. I didn't think it was that great. But then again, really, I mean, like I've said this a million times. If I don't adversely hate the trailer, I'm happy. So long as it doesn't ruin anything for me, I'm fine. Because I know I'm going to see the movie. I'm not invested in this trailer. There's genuinely never been any trailer for a movie that I've cared deeply about other than Force Awakens.
Yeah, of course.
There's never been a point where I see a trailer's out for a movie where I run and jump up and down screaming other than Force Awakens.
I mean, Force Awakens was a different. It was
exactly that was a completely different thing altogether.
Yeah.
That was life reaffirming. So this one I really liked the fact that they tried something new and different with Bohemian. That was really cool. It was very entertaining.
Yeah.
But honestly, I mean, I'm not that invested in the trailer for any of these movies because I know I'm going to see them.
And so,
fair enough. There are a lot of, I don't even know how many Deadpool trailers there are. There are a whole bunch of them.
They're going all
and
out.
I've seen 2 or 3 and
I've seen one.
I was that's enough.
The main one
is enough. Yeah. So I've seen 2 or 3 of them. That's enough. Cool. Again, I know I'm going to see the movie. I don't want to see more random footage out of order and all this.
But you have to think of jokes and stuff. You have to think of it this way. It's it's really not for our. They know we are going to watch the film in the sense that you're going to get your hardcore fans to go and watch the film.
Right.
It's because I mentioned it earlier, it's it's an R-rated film and they're trying to play it off. I mean, not play it off. It is a comedy. It's an action comedy, but because they're going to have very, very few screenings of it in the sense that as compared to a major blockbuster film, they're trying their best to make sure that whoever can see this movie will see this movie.
Right.
And so they've put out gifs and they've put out the whole skull poo L.
Yeah. That was funny.
That was really really
That was
funny.
really
And they put a Venn diagram out just like the other day. It was crazy. Yeah.
Segue.
Yeah.
Speaking of it being, R-rated and like wanting to get people to watch and whatnot.
Yeah.
Local Indian stuff. Segue. I can actually do this. I'm very impressed with myself.
Okay, go.
There was a trailer that's gone out just the other day. I really can't remember. Somebody behind the glass tell me what the name of this movie was. There's a trailer that for a film that has a gay character in
Aligarh,
it.
yeah.
Yes.
Aligarh, yeah.
And it's got an adult rating.
Yeah, yeah.
But this other movie that everybody's talking about that's like full of like
Mastizade
yes,
and Kya Cool Hai Hum 3.
which is basically people like masturbating on camera.
Yeah, pretty much. And just
but that's not
boobs
that's not
and nothing else. Yeah,
but that's
man.
not adulterated. Like what?
It's where do we even begin, man?
Yeah.
Where do we even begin with our Indian censorship and just our value system and how we portray? Like it's just a ton of misogyny and sexism, just like so apparent and so casually done in our cinema. It's appalling.
It's kind of it's
one of the reasons why I don't even bother with it, man.
I
Like,
really don't.
yeah,
I really don't. It's you can like shake your tits if you're wearing a sari and it's not considered inappropriate because you're wearing a sari. But if you're doing it in like a mini skirt, that's inappropriate.
It's ridiculous.
You know what I mean? It's like
it's ridiculous. Let's just put it that way. I mean,
it's all context based.
Yeah, I think even
if you're in the right context, you can get away with bloody murder.
Yeah, and I think it's also because right now there's a very like prominent case of the whole 377 being trying to be, it's still being contested in court right now. I think also that's pretty relevant because right now, like you said, there's a gay character in the film, and even it's in a trailer. It's not even they censored a trailer, I suppose, or they didn't allow it based on the trailer or something like that. It's just like, what are you doing? My God, it's crazy. I mean, like, yeah, man. Like, some of the reasons why I just like I don't watch mainstream Bollywood stuff anymore is just because of this reason. And like the indie stuff in the Indian film industry is really good. Like movies like Court and stuff like that. They're really, really good. And I think that's the only place we can ever even attempt to do anything in science fiction, is because there's somewhere anywhere not going to get a mainstream kind of audience for that. Yeah,
definitely.
So yeah, man. So it's not even something to think about. It's just something to scream at the government for about now. And that's what it's come to, and it's almost pointless at this point. Yeah. Don't even want to talk about it because it's so depressing.
But hey, look at us talking about like real adult things.
We do it. Hey,
we're like intelligent and stuff. We're talking about like real world issues. Whoa.
Yeah, we do have our moments now and then.
Credibility just went up by 0.5.
Yeah, man. So sorry. Go ahead. Your random news for the day.
I'll be honest. I also didn't find anything. I
Noteworthy?
just couldn't find anything. Like so, and I'll explain to our listeners that the way I look for random news is on the cab ride here. I'm on my phone and I'm looking at my Apple News app, which is a great app, by the way. I love it.
You can only access it in the US, so you might want to tell them that the US.
Oh yeah, you have to like maybe
change your store to the
hopefully
US.
they've changed it. You have to change your store
To the US?
Not store. You have to go to your settings.
Change your region.
Jesus. Whatever that means. I don't even know what that means. Like,
It
but
means
anyway.
you have to just basically say that you're an American phone like service user, but you're just in India right now.
Even stupider because this phone actually I bought in the States.
Fair enough.
So
no,
but
that doesn't.
Anyway,
you have to
I
be a
don't know.
service provider.
I don't know. Anyway, what I'm getting at is I didn't find anything that was like particularly amazing. So
actually, there's a bunch of random stuff, like not really interesting stuff, but like a lot of news has come out. Like,
so let's talk about Iowa caucus results. Ted Cruz beats Donald Trump and Marco Rubio.
Yeah, I know. That's like. And this is after he was just
I told you I had nothing.
He was just like, oh my God, it's impossible. Even if I don't go, no one's going to vote for Ted Cruz. And he just like, terrible. What a terrible man.
Oh, we actually.
I mean, I was just cursing the Indian government, but I was just like, the direction in which the American government is going is just like scary as all hell. Yeah, that you did really have nothing.
I really had nothing. I don't know.
I have something though.
What do you have?
This is something I posted on our website, or actually on our Facebook page.
Okay.
New DC animated series coming out on Justice League called Justice League Action. And being a huge fan of the Justice League and the Batman animated series and all that stuff, I'm really excited about this. Why? Check it out. Check out the cast. Kevin Conroy is Batman, so sold.
Yep.
Mark Hamill as the Joker.
Oh, I saw that.
So they're back together.
Yeah.
Okay. And James Woods as Lex Luthor, and that's amazing. And there was one more also really, really good. I can't remember who it was, but like awesome cast, and the animation looks really fresh. It looks slightly kiddie-ish, not like how Young Justice or it looks like the original Justice League got an upgrade, yeah, and it looks really good. And I'm just, man, I love I think where DC has managed to excel way over Marvel is in their animated front. And
True.
They've always had much better shows. Like
though the X-Men was really cool.
X-Men was great. Yeah, Marvel has had like a couple of good shows. They've had Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the Avengers series. That is one. It only had 2 seasons, but one of the best I've ever seen. That was excellent. And obviously X-Men Evolution and the X-Men, the original X-Men, and even the Spider-Man, the 90s Spider-Man was great, man. That was really it was excellent. That was really good. But yeah, man, DC has always had its like they were on top of it. They've always been good.
Who owns the Turtles?
I think it comes under Warner Brothers. I want to say that it does because I think there have been a couple of crossovers. In fact, there is a crossover happening. I think I mentioned about this earlier. Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I mentioned that. That was one of my
exactly. Yeah. So I think it's Warner Brothers. Yeah. But I think. By the way, sorry, Nickelodeon owns. And I don't know who
really?
Yeah, because Nickelodeon... So how the movies got greenlit, and I like that we're coming a whole circle in this episode.
We plan, people. We actually plan this stuff.
Basically, like how the 90s movies, which you can't remember about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, those were greenlit because of the cartoon, obviously.
Right.
And very similarly, the Nickelodeon series, which came out, which bought over the rights for, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they created like this series which was like CG, like 3D animated, and was awesome. It's really good. Like I finished one season. I didn't get into the second one, but it was excellent. And because of that and the success it had, they greenlit the film. And if you see the film also, it begins, the opening titles are still Nickelodeon. So, yeah, really good. And finally, Nickelodeon doing something good in life. I never saw Rugrats. I'm sorry.
You never saw Rugrats?
Yeah, I didn't see it. I never saw
the show or the movie?
The show or the movie.
Oh my god!
I never got into it. Hey, wait, SpongeBob is who?
Nickelodeon.
Okay, so that's the only thing I guess I've seen from Nickelodeon.
What about like their live action stuff? Like
what is the live action stuff?
Kenan and Kel. Yeah?
No, I haven't.
Whoa!
No, of course not.
You haven't seen Kenan and Kel?
I never got into Nickelodeon. I got into like I'm saying the DC stuff.
Kenan and Kel.
Okay, tell me why I should.
Who loves orange soda?
Kenan and Kel?
No, Kel loves orange soda.
Oh, sorry, I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
Orange soda.
I don't even know you.
Okay, so
what is
give
this?
me in one line. Give me the elevator pitch for Kenan and Kel, and then we'll wrap this show.
Who loves orange soda?
Is that... I can't relate to it. I don't understand.
There's no pitch. Watch the show.
Is it amazing? How many seasons are there?
Must
I though?
Not enough is the answer.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's so good.
It's a kids show.
Yeah,
but then I watch Sesame Street, so I don't know. I still watch it. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, you mean you still watch Sesame Street? Yeah, that's fine.
I watch Sesame Street and the Muppets.
Watch freaking Kenan and Kel. How have you not seen this?
Okay, I will definitely.
It has the theme song is by Coolio.
What?
Yeah.
You should have mentioned that first.
Yeah.
Wait, Coolio?
The theme song is
I'm sorry, I must have mistaken. I was thinking LL Cool J. Damn it.
He might have actually cameoed in one. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
But yeah, since theme songs have been written by, like Will.i.am did the Samurai Jack theme song.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Cool. So this has been a good episode. If you guys have any suggestions, if you guys want to talk to us about Agent Carter or anything in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and including the timeline and how complicated it's getting, you might as well mail us and tell us on contactgeekfruit@gmail.com. Where else can they find us, Jishnu?
My house.
Dude, don't do that,
man.
No,
if they come to my house, then I can talk to them about it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Like a friendly thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they can stalk you if you give out your details.
I would actually be kind of flattered.
Yeah, I know. Someone is actually like
somebody actually cares.
Yeah. Where else can they find us, Jishnu, apart from your house?
My grandmother's house.
Which is in your house. She stays with you.
No. But like she has her own house in Calcutta. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Because we visit Calcutta. Sometimes.
Or you may find us at Comic-Con this month.
We need to get tickets for that.
Let's see. Yeah. Let's see how it works out. We cannot confirm our presence there, but we will be wearing Geek Fruit t-shirts. And this is a commitment I'm making on the podcast, so we actually go ahead and make those t-shirts.
There's no we. This is just you.
Okay, I will be wearing a Geek Fruit t-shirt.
Cool.
Yeah, man. You can also find us on social media. Like, just type @GeekFruitHQ on Instagram or Twitter or anywhere else. Snapchat?
In theory.
In theory, yes.
I don't know what the hell I'd snap, but you know.
Yeah, but ultimately you can find all of our stuff collected on Geekfruit, www.geekfruit.in.
Nobody taps the www.
No, I'm just putting it out there.
You're just wasting breath.
Okay, cool. Oh, dude. Like we haven't done that already for the last 6 weeks in this show. What? Because someone's not listening to. No, they all listen.
You don't think highly of this show, do you?
I think this show is a conversation for us.
You have no respect.
I don't. Okay, but that's how I am, man. Irreverent. But you can check out our website at www.geekfruit.in.
Did you say irreverent?
Oh, nice one. Good play there. Irreverent.
I said
that last time. I said that last week.
You have no respect at all.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, cool. We'll see you later, I guess. This is Tejas, and that's Jishnu, and we'll see you next week.
This podcast is over. Then you have my permission to die.
Hey Jishnu, do you like movies?
They're
a thing
fine,
you do now
fine.
and then. So basically, if you like our show, and we talk a lot about movies and stuff, then there's another really great podcast which you should listen to, which is called Watcha, W-A-T-C-H-A with an exclamation mark at the end. And it's a film recommendation podcast. And he talks about TV shows as well. And that's what he does. It's Anirudh Guha, who's actually, yeah, it's Guha, and your name is Guha also.
Brother.
Yeah, so you should definitely listen to it to feel like some kind of familial connection. Is that a word?
So is he more intelligent and coherent than we are? Because
definitely.
God help
Most
us all if there's
definitely.
another one like us.
No, there isn't. We are truly unique.
So what you're saying is, if you're sick and tired of listening to our gibberish,
Yeah.
this man will actually tell you things that matter and tell
This
them
is
to
true.
you articulate.
And he recommends films. It's not like he just basically talks about films that he thinks you should watch.
Wow, so you have fun listening to him, and then you can have fun watching the things that he tells you are also fun.
And that's why he has an exclamation at the end of the name. So you can check it out on ivmpodcast.com, where it's a cornucopia of great podcasts.